So today we go with Conan, Conan the Cimmerian. Some people know him as Conan the Barbarian from the movies, but he has certainly many titles like Conan the Destroyer, King Conan. But anyway, we all know him best as Conan the Barbarian. It's a character created by Robert E. Howard, and he has a lot of good stories that have been mixed in different magazines depending on the country where you are living. The stories were published by different magazines, so there are several compilations out there. The problem is how to find the best stories without censorship. So, as you know, many publishing houses have some problems with racism in Conan's books, in Robert E. Howard's stories. Some of the enemies he has to face, like some of the comments he makes about them, have some, let's say, connotations that would cause publishing houses and distributors to frown upon those books, and it's not as if they are banning all of Conan's stories, but certainly there are a few of them that are not easy to find because they prefer to focus on the stories that don't produce any pushback or don't give them any problems. And that's true for several distributors, including Apple, Amazon, and a few others. So I'm going to share with you a list of the best compilations, like the official editions of Conan the Barbarian. But keep in mind that some of them are not available in all the countries. Some countries have very specific laws about these issues, these topics. The distributors may be okay selling this content in one country, but not in another one. And therefore, we are going to have to combine different editions, different companies, different places. But I found this list in several other places. When I found it, I thought it looked familiar, and yes, I have seen this type of list with these same editions, in these same companies, in other places. So I guess it's a known fact that these editions are the official ones, and I'm sharing them here with you in one link. I also found them in lists, in rankings, in different blogs, websites. So this would be the main books about Conan. You can find Conan Some Good Adventures, Conan The Defining Stories, Conan Stories of High Adventure, Conan The Hour of the Dragon, it's a long novel, Conan The Legendary Stories, and well, yeah, it's 3, 4, 5, 6 books. I think in total these are 6 editions with the stories that are allowed to be published. There are a few other stories that are particularly problematic for some publishing houses and distributors, so it's more difficult to find those ones. Certainly it's difficult to find them through Amazon or Apple, so I would recommend you to check the classic publishing houses, for like the editions from the 80s and the 90s, like some time when these topics were still problematic, but you could print the books. There wasn't any limitation, or they didn't try to forbid the public knowledge of these stories or something like that. So if you're going for the problematic stories, you're going to have to find the old paper editions from the 90s, and if you want the modern official editions, these would be the complete list. I leave it here in a link, and it includes those titles.